Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling.
No fireworks filled the sky that night. No dramatic countdown echoed across a giant stage. No carefully rehearsed New Year message was waiting to be delivered at the perfect second. And yet, this live moment, unfolding quietly in real time, became one of the most talked about ways to welcome 2026. It did not begin with excitement. It began with uncertainty, a slightly tired voice, a casual laugh that came before the microphone was ready, a room that felt more like a late-night gathering than a grand celebration. Viewers who clicked in expecting spectacle quickly realized something was different. Nothing felt polished, nothing felt pushed, and that was exactly why people stayed. This was not a headline designed for tomorrow's news. It was a moment happening now, unfiltered and unprotected. As the live stream continued, the usual barriers between performer and audience seemed to soften. Time slowed. Words were spoken without preparation. Silences were allowed to exist. And somewhere within those pauses, people felt they were witnessing something real. It was New Year's Eve, but not the kind people were used to. It was quieter, smaller, and unexpectedly powerful. And once you noticed that shift, it was already too late to look away. The live broadcast unfolded without urgency, almost resisting the idea that it had to be special simply because of the date. There were small imperfections that would normally be edited out in a recorded show. Pacing drifted. The mood shifted naturally. At moments, it felt as though the performers themselves were discovering the evening at the same time as the audience. What stood out most was not what was said, but what was not forced. There was no attempt to heighten emotion artificially, no dramatic music cues to tell viewers how to feel. Instead, emotions emerged in fragments, a spontaneous joke that revealed exhaustion rather than humor, a brief pause before answering a fan's question, a soft smile that lingered a second longer than expected. At one point, happiness was mentioned, not as a declaration, but as an observation. Happiness not because everything had gone perfectly, but because the moment felt honest. That distinction mattered. Viewers recognized it immediately. It mirrored how many people themselves had experienced the end of the year. Tired, reflective, and quietly relieved that they had made it through. Behind the main speaker, another presence remained steady throughout the night. He did not lead the conversation, nor did he attempt to direct attention toward himself. He listened more than he spoke. When the energy dipped, he did not rush to fill the space. When laughter broke out, he allowed it to fade naturally. His role was not to perform, but to balance. This kind of presence is easy to miss if you are not paying attention. Yet once noticed, it becomes impossible to ignore. It provided a sense of grounding, a reassurance that the moment did not need to be controlled. Viewers began commenting not on what was happening, but on how it felt. Words like calm, safe, and comfortable appeared repeatedly, cutting through the usual excitement-driven reactions. As the night moved closer to the symbolic turning point of the year, there was no visible preparation for a climax. No countdown graphics appeared. No sudden shift in tone announced that something important was about to happen. The live stream simply continued, as if time itself were less interested in marking the moment. And then, without warning, the year changed. There was no clear signal, no raised voice declaring a fresh beginning. Instead, there was a brief stillness, a shared understanding that something had passed and something new had begun. the kind of understanding that does not require words. It lasted only seconds, but those seconds carried weight. For many viewers, this was the most striking part. In an age where moments are often amplified for maximum impact, this one felt almost private. It did not demand attention, it invited it. And because of that, people leaned in. Afterwards, conversations online did not focus on spectacle or achievements. They focused on atmosphere, on how unusual it was to feel relaxed during a New Year broadcast, on how rare it was to see performers allow themselves to be present rather than impressive. Some viewers admitted they had not planned to watch for long, yet found themselves staying until the very end. Others began rewatching clips, searching for details they might have missed. The angle of a glance, the timing of a response, the way silence was respected rather than avoided. These were not moments designed to be analyzed, yet they invited reflection naturally. The appeal of this live moment lay in its restraint. It trusted the audience to understand nuance. It did not explain itself. It did not attempt to define relationships or offer conclusions. That openness created space for viewers to connect their own experiences to what they were seeing. For those who had spent the year navigating pressure, expectations, or emotional fatigue, the simplicity felt deeply familiar. There was also something quietly reassuring about seeing public figures resist the need to perform emotional extremes. It suggested that rest, honesty, and presence could hold as much value as excitement, that a meaningful transition into a new year did not have to be loud to be memorable. As discussions continued to grow, the moment gained momentum, not because it shocked, but because it resonated. It spread through recommendation rather than hype. People shared it with comments like, "This feels different," or "Watch this when you need something calm." In a digital landscape driven by urgency, this gentler rhythm stood out. What made the moment special was not its scale, but its timing. It arrived when many people were ready to stop performing themselves, ready to exhale, ready to accept that moving forward did not require dramatic declarations, only honesty. In the days that followed, the live broadcast remained a point of reference, not as an event to be dissected, but as a reminder that authenticity still holds power, that audiences notice when something is not trying too hard, and that sometimes the most meaningful way to step into a new year is simply to be present with someone who allows silence to exist. This was not a story about celebration. It was a story about connection, created quietly and shared widely. And perhaps that is why it stayed with so many people long after the clock had moved on. If moments like this speak to you, if you appreciate stories that focus on real emotions rather than noise, then you are in the right place. Thank you for spending your time with us and for choosing to listen closely. If you would like to keep discovering meaningful updates, quiet moments, and thoughtful stories from across the entertainment world, we invite you to subscribe to Update X 24 Hours. Your support allows us to continue bringing you content that values authenticity and depth. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We look forward to exploring more moments like this with you.